guys, let's get right into it. So, this show has just been so disappointing, so ridiculously disappointing. Who the hell? It's so late. Who the hell was on a motorcycle? Can y'all hear that? The ghetto. Anyway, we start off with the smear campaign against OG. Evelyn comes into Shaunie's room and her dressing room, and all of a sudden they start talking about how unsafe they feel around OG. She pushed Shaunie, she beat up on production, and I'm just like, BS. Total BS, because if that actually happened, you guys were doing an entire smear campaign against this woman the entire season, from your social media to everything that was shot and edited for this show. You guys have been trying to make OG look like this aggressive cast member that, thank the Lord, has not worked. You guys have been trying that since day one. So you mean to tell me that if she pushed Shaunie or assaulted Shaunie and assaulted the production and beat up on all these people, that you guys would not have shown that? Because later in the episode, they do show a clip of OG going after Phoebe, is what I was told, is what we were told on the show, but we don't see who she's going after. Somebody is trying to pull OG, and I think when she's being pulled, she pushes Shaunie out of the way to get to whoever, right? Here's my thing. If this is what you wanted to use to let the viewers know that you don't feel safe sitting on a reunion set with her because of this, and this is the evidence that you showed, once again, I call BS. Because why would you give us 5 seconds? Guys, it was literally 5 seconds of a clip from this season. And why would you have not put it in the show? Because that clip probably would have worked in her favor. That is the thing. I'm so glad that the viewers have some sense. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, I'm not saying that we don't, right? But a lot of times these shows edit a narrative, and a lot of times we eat it up. For me, I wasn't aware of how fake these reality TV shows were until, one, I moved out here and I was actually able to see a few films. And also, I have somebody very close in my life who works in reality TV production. And this person gives me all the tea. And they're just like, when you watch these reality TV shows, don't believe anything. Because what happens is each season, a storyline is set up for each character. I think OG's setup for her season was that they were going to try to show her as this aggressive cast member, because Shaunie does not like the fact, Shaunie, Evelyn, all the colorist collective do not like the fact that a woman that looked like OG thinks she's just as bad as they think, if not badder. And they don't like the fact that they cannot take advantage of her or bully her. I just watched Mr. Still Standing's video, and it was about, he was saying that, I forget the name of it, I'm gonna tag it in this video. He was saying that his issue is not colorism for him. Like, he sees it, but his main issue with the treating of OG, the mistreatment of OG, is the fact that he believes that it's bullying. That's exactly what it is. And these girls have continued to bully women that they thought were weaker on the show, and it has worked. The only time it hasn't worked is with 3 women. OG, Brandy, and Royce, and what happened to those girls. So when they cannot bully a woman or pull her into their thinking and make her bow down to them and go along with everything that they're doing, like they did with Kristen, they get rid of them. And this is what they have been trying to do with OG, but we, the viewers, have seen right through the mess. So glad that whatever Shaunie was trying to do, it did not work, because you guys caught it. We all caught it and saw the mess. And no matter how many episodes they put out, no matter how many lives they do, no matter how many times Evelyn tries to sue OG, no matter what they do, they have gone on smear campaigns against this woman. OG has not done one interview. She just stays on her Instagram posting receipts. She has been doing her best with the least to defend herself, but the viewers, the fan base, have been able to see what is being done against OG. And guys, we all have protected her, because if we did not see it, I'm telling you, it would have went differently for this girl. And I'm just so thankful for her. I'm so thankful that whatever they tried to do, it didn't work. I'm telling you, with the devil half for your bad, God will turn it around for your good. OG is living proof of that, because they keep on trying to throw stuff at this girl and it don't stick. I'm like, sis, are you a praying woman? I think she is. But girl, yeah, up your prayers or up your thanks, because God is doing this work. They keep on trying to throw dirt on this woman and it will not stick. It does not work. Wow. OG, you must have a praying grandmother. My Christian subscribers, you gonna catch that one, ain't you? Now, before we move on, where was this reunion filmed? Because it seems like the budget was a little medium for this reunion, because when they were driving up and pulling up in this neighborhood, I was like, y'all filming at a studio? Where are you filming in this apocalyptic town? Where was this? I don't know any studios who are in like sketchy neighborhoods. What studio could this be? No, not CBS. That's in Studio City. Nope, that's in Burbank. Where the hell were y'all filming? I was like, oh, this is it? Lock your doors. So Shaunie and Evelyn continue their smear campaign against OG. Here's my thing, right? This is another reason why this story about OG beating up everybody is not making sense to me. Because if she beat up on production, she beat up on the EP of the show, she's beating up on everybody. You guys are not showing it, not leaking it to the press, because that's what these kinds of shows do. All shows, from scripted shows to reality TV shows, each show has a PR person, and that person gets out information about the show to get the buzz going, so that people are hyped, so that everybody's talking about it when the show premieres, right? So this show leaks all of this information about the show every time, every season. You mean to tell me you guys didn't leak to the viewers that OG beat up on Shaunie? Oh my goodness, we all would have been here last season if that was the case. Y'all had this footage and did not show it. She's beating up on production. Y'all not showing that? She's beating up on cast members. She's beating up on all these people, and you aren't showing it. You aren't leaking it to the press, and you continue to renew her contract. Make it make sense, because it's not. So then Mark Lamont Hill, who was beat to the gods, okay? Mother's eyebrows were snatched. Homie was contoured, okay? So he goes to OG's dressing room. She had a really big dressing room. What the hell was going on? Malaysia was in a porta potty. Jennifer was in a dressing room that didn't have any good light. The only one who had a good dressing room was Shaunie, but I even feel like OG's was a lot better than her. Maybe, you know what? Maybe the network got OG that dressing room. She gave that network some views this season. Maybe that was the network that did that. So Mark shows up to OG's dressing room, and he lets her know that there are people on set and in production. Shaunie, it's so sad that you did this. This is really, really sad that you as a Black woman have this opportunity and this is what you do with it. Anyway, he tells her that they don't feel safe around her. So they want her to film on a different set, a smaller set, away from everybody, because she is a threat to the cast and production. I was mortified for her. It was so wrong. There's no way y'all can come back from that. Shaunie, when you do that little colorism special that you're about to do next week, you need to apologize to OG, because that is not fair. Because then OG says, I've never jumped on the table. I've never thrown a wine bottle at someone. I've never smacked a person. I've never assaulted anyone. I've never thrown a table at anyone. So why am I being excluded? I want to be on set with everybody else, and I want to say my piece. It's not fair. And if that is what they want to do, then I will go home. So she packs up her stuff and starts, getting ready to leave. And Mark is trying to, convince her to stay. Then he goes to OG and Cece. I don't know why he got Cece to try to convince OG to stay, because when Cece gets in there and she hears what they're doing to her girlfriend, she's just like, well, if she's not going to be on that set, then I'm not going to be on that set. And guess what? I'm going to leave with her. Come on, friendship. Come on, friendship. This is how you do it. So they both pack up and leave. I don't know if you guys saw this, but when Mark said it, Shaunie was like, because she knows she's going to get in trouble with the network. Because she presented this show to the network, right? But at the end of the day, this is VH1's show. Yes, Shaunie is the EP, but production can always be replaced. If the network has brought this show, it is their show. And if production is not trying to work with the network concerning the show, making sure that it benefits the network that is paying for every damn thing, you will be replaced. Bravo has done it plenty of times, which is why specifically the Real Housewives of Atlanta always look a little different every couple seasons because Bravo stay firing production companies. You might have brought the show to me, but I bought it, so it's mine now. This is how I want it to run. If me and you are not agreeing with how this show is going to go, I will fire you and your whole team and hire somebody else who will do what I want you to do, even if it was your idea. You sold it to me in that contract. So I'm thinking that Shaunie probably had a little sit down with the executives, because there's always an executive from the network at one of these shows, specifically when it's a show that has a lot of controversy. There's always somebody there. So I'm thinking they had a little sit down and talk to her and was just like, you know what? You better do what you got to do to get that girl back. So I'm thinking when OG came back, I wouldn't have came back. I wouldn't have came back because how they treated her, my heart sank. I did not like how they treated her, and I did not like what was said to her. Yes, Mark was the messenger, right? He knew that what he was saying was wrong. I did not like what they said to her. I did not like that they filmed that and put that out there to make it seem like this Black African woman is aggressive and dangerous. They are feeding into so many stereotypes against their own people. It is disgusting. And I'm so glad that we see it. Y'all thought we were some dummies, some mindless dummies that just sit down and watch this TV show. Truth be told, this audience is very smart. What they don't realize is that a lot of times people watch reality TV show just to escape. You know, we work 9 to 5 jobs. We come home, cook or whatever, do what we gotta do. We're tired. We just want to watch something until we go to sleep. And sometimes your show fits that time slot. That's it. But we ain't dummies, baby. We can see your mess and we're calling you on it. So now y'all getting scared. The movement to boycott this show and to get it canceled is growing. Even if you're renewed, you haven't filmed a day yet on set. That don't mean nothing. Don't ask me how I know. Child, I've had some experiences. Listen, when I tell you guys that I'm not here because I was on set or something, and you guys are just like, okay, well, go ahead, girl, do what you're gonna do. Let us know what you're working on. I'm not saying nothing, guys. I have learned my lesson. I have said enough things about shows that I was on, and the shows either get canceled or don't make it. You know, the pilot doesn't make it to air. Like, so many things happen. I don't say nothing about anything that I'm on until the production company sends me the date that my episode will air. That's the only time. If I'm telling you about something and you haven't heard about it yet, it either hasn't come out or the show was canceled. Welcome to Hollywood. You know what? The devil always reveals himself, because Shaunie and Evelyn are talking about, and the rest of the cast just joins in about how they don't want OG on set because they do not feel safe with her. First of all, Phoebe, how do you not feel safe with OG on set? I thought you and her had come to terms with whatever issues that you had when y'all was riding in that, what is that? That dirt bike? Whatever that thing was that y'all was riding in, you were telling her that you want to move forward and show her that you could be the bigger person. Now all of a sudden you don't feel safe with her, but you were safe enough to ride in some dangerous little bike with her. But now that we're at the reunion, you don't feel safe. Kristen, I understand why you don't feel safe. I ain't even going front, because when she got in your face and you did all that crying, acting like you was crying about Byron, girl, you was crying because OG had just so shook. I didn't touch you, but if I did, so what? I was like, oh, girl, back up, Kristen, back up. Shaunie, what are you afraid of? Evelyn, what are you afraid of? You're afraid that this chick is going to expose you. That's exactly what it is. Malaysia, what are you afraid of? You're afraid that if you throw a table at OG, she's going to throw a table, a chair, the couch, and Mark Lamont Hill. That's what you're afraid of. Y'all cannot come at this woman. That's what it is. You've met your match. Dare I say you met your master, and y'all don't know how to deal. Y'all do not know how to deal. But here's why I said the devil always reveals himself, because Shaunie, when everything was happening, right before we even got to set, gonna tell Evelyn, whoo, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for OG because, you know, I don't know what's going to happen if she say something slick. You know, you in Malaysia might throw a table or a chair at her. Really? Your non-violent pets are going to throw chairs and tables at aggressive OG? You, Shaunie, are concerned for OG's safety? You didn't know that camera was getting that B-roll. That's what happened. You spoke your truth and you did not know you were being filmed. So now OG and Cece have left because they don't like how OG was being treated. This is the thing. Before I go on, I do want to mention, because you know what? I watched a lot of Mr. Still Standing content. Can I tell you, you could be on his his page for like, his channel for like just watching one thing. And then the next thing you know, you 3 or 4 of his videos in, and you just like, oh, I got to get to work. I think I watched another one of his videos, and he was talking about how Tammy said on Twitter, because Mark told OG that Tammy wanted a separate set. He also doesn't believe that Tammy, you know, had an allergic reaction. I'm not going to say that because there's a lot of stuff I'm allergic to that I could die from. So, you know, I've had moments where it's just cancel all the plans because this little peanut dish is about to kill me. So I'm not going to say that she would lie about something like that if she does have allergies, because someone who was allergic to a few things that could kill me, I don't think she will play with that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But you know, I mean, if she used it to get out of something, oh well, who would want to be at this demonic set? I wouldn't want to be nowhere near it. So listen, I understand, but I just don't think that she would play with something like that. But he did say that Tammy said on Twitter that she did not request a separate set. They told her that she was going to be on a different set, and she was fine with it because she don't like them broads anyway. So she was okay with it. So they had that set prepared for Tammy. I guess Lamont was just going to do a one-on-one interview with Tammy. And then maybe production decided, since Shaunie doesn't like OG, to put her and Cece over there. Maybe that was the case. When Mark told OG that Tammy requested a separate set, Tammy debunked that online. So listen, they have been trying to smear this girl, but everybody has been coming out protecting her. Even to this day, everything is still coming out in her favor. OG, woo! You most certainly have a praying grandmother, and I knew enough to call on the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Can I tell you, that was my song when I was like 9 years old. What the hell was I going through at 9? I know her testimony word for word. I would sing that song and just cry as a kid. What was I going through? Or maybe I was just dramatic. Yeah, I was dramatic. So now OG, who's not there, is the talk of the show. Evelyn tries to defend why she does not want OG on set. Shaunie goes first, and she says that OG is always in this aggressive manner. Again, where are the receipts? Because we're seeing a totally different person on this show. This is the footage that was filmed and edited and sent to screen. And then you're telling us, the viewer, after you, the EP, approved this footage, you're telling us that this girl is violent and aggressive. But we're not seeing that. So we can only go off of what we see and what we believe and know to be true just because of how you have acted since you've been on this show. Keep on making these accusations about this woman, but you have no receipts. She is the only one who has receipts. Then Evelyn jumps in. I don't want to be on a set with somebody who's going to use my abuser against me. Your abuser? The dude that you texted, you still got his number. You didn't say that you reached out to him on social media. You texted him. You mean to tell me that Chad still got the same number that he had in 2011? No celebrity does that. They change that number up all the time because they always doing something, you know, salacious, and because fans are crazy. So you got his new number. You still in contact with his daughter. You got his new number and you still in contact with his daughter because you still in contact with him with them drive-bys. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. You still banging this dude who you called your abuser. I don't think y'all banging now after this reunion, because even if his daughter is still like, why am I talking like her? Even if his daughter, even if you are cool with his daughter, I wouldn't be cool with you after that. Especially after you continue to bring up this narrative about my father. If I know it to be a little different, I wouldn't even rock with you. And he won't rock with you now. So you didn't cut off your drive-by. Stupid. I would have never cut off a drive-by from Chad Ochocinco, girl. What? It's such a deliciously terrible mistake. Not as a person, but Chad, you know, you a mess. A good mess. Hop into my DMs. I won't fumble the bag like OG. Oh, yes, I will. Evelyn, how are you mad at OG and not Chad? Like, how are you mad at her for defending herself when you called her ugly? All she said was that your ex wants her and that she's your favorite athlete's favorite athlete. You started in on her. Truth be told, your feelings got hurt because you never believed that a man that wanted you would have wanted a woman like that. So your feelings got hurt, and now you realize that you've been humiliated by this woman multiple times this season, so you're trying to do something to hurt her. You can't get at her face to face in like a battle like that. You know you can't take her out physically. You know you can't throw no wine bottle at this girl because like she said, she gonna break your jaw. You know that to be true. Or at least you feel that way. You know you can't win against her in a war of words. You know that because you've tried that and you have failed several times. So now you're gonna use your connections and your abuse to try to get people to go after this girl. Shaunie is going after her. She's doing everything that she can to make her look like the bad guy. And you were hoping that people would be on your side considering your domestic violence issue that you had with Chad, and it's not working. It's not working because you are messing it up yourself. You're calling this dude an abuser, yet you're reaching out to him through text. You're still mad at OG, but you're not mad at this dude. I mean, if he assaulted you, wouldn't you be madder at him? Wouldn't you not even contact? It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. And when it doesn't make sense, it leads me to believe that somebody is lying. And it's not the Nigerian princess, because she always rides with receipts. Ciao! I would never get into nothing with her. She will pull up something from like 1996. Like, damn, I didn't even know you in 1996. I was a child. How did you get OG? Better than the FBI. Oh, Lord. Then the Colorist Collective tries to take on colorism. Like, just these idiots trying to talk about colorism. It's like Bill Cosby trying to talk about rape. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. And I know some of y'all might be fans of him. Guys, I'm from Philly. We've been knew about him. He did it. He did it. So then we turn away from OG and, you know, the Colorist Collective being afraid of her. Then we turn our attention towards Shaunie and Jennifer and everybody hating on Jennifer, who looked the best in my opinion. Like, she looked like she was going to a very classy quinceañera, but she looked the best. Oh, she was sitting in that chartreuse dress. She was sitting in that. She looked amazing. OG was my second best dress after she did the outfit change. I love when OG wears clothes closer or inspired by her culture, because I just feel like she owns that. I don't know. It's just the way certain things look on her, like this long, I don't know the name of this. I don't think it's a choker, but this necklace that she had on. She looked amazing. She looked amazing. I love when she does that, but I can understand why she doesn't dress like that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you live in America. Who wants people making fun of you and, you know, coming after you when you're dressing for a culture that is looked down upon in America? And we will get to that later, because it's not just colorism with OG and these ladies. It's something else, and we will get to that later. But I felt like she looked great as well, but she was my second best dress. Were there any more best dress? No. Where the hell was Kristen going? What were you wearing? I felt like she wasn't done getting dressed. Phoebe looked like she had just robbed a cachet, because what was this outfit? Jackie, I felt like she showed up looking like she does security at Ross. Like, what was this outfit? And then this slick ponytail, but your hair is natural, so it's curly and spacing out, because you cannot gel down natural, especially when it's 4C. You can't gel that down. You just gotta let that be wavy and do what it's going to do, and wear like a natural ponytail. I don't know why you wore this straight ponytail with this gel down but I still love you. Shaunie showed up looking like a street fighter. I was just waiting for her to say raw Yukin. Like, what were you wearing? What? This is your show. What were you wearing? Malaysia, no tea, no shade. I was even saying this when I was a fan of yours. She always dresses like a scammer to me. She always looks like she cannot go into any malls in America because they got her face up as soon as she walk into any store. She just gives me scammer. So anyway, Shaunie tries to get into it with Jennifer about Shaq, and she's just like, you're disrespecting my kids when you talk about my children's father. I'm just like, shut up, girl. Stop it. Because when Kristen was dragging Byron every damn episode and Cece asked her to stop, you all set up a plan for her to get jumped. All she said was, please stop talking about my future husband, and y'all tried to jump the chick. So how is it different from Jennifer, who was like, this is common knowledge, talking about the fact that Shaq was cheating on you? And like, get out of here. Your kids know that their dad is a cheater. They don't care because he's rich. Cheat, daddy, as long as you pay for my college and my Corvette. Like, they don't care. And you don't care because you're rich because of it. You know what I mean? Everybody has been made whole through Shaq's money. Stop it. Every other husband has been disrespected. Tammy came on this show thinking you're her friend. You over here having your pet talk about her husband in her confessional. Nobody know that Kenny was cheating or that people were sleeping with Kenny on the show until Evelyn said it in her confessionals. That was her storyline that entire season. So now, because it's your baby daddy, we can't talk about him. But we can talk about Kenny. We can talk about Byron. We can talk about, was it Dwight? Yeah, we could talk about Dwight. Not say his name, but we could talk about every husband on this show has been talked about, because if you were not basketball wives, there would be no show. The men, inadvertently, even though they're not involved, make this show. We're showing up because of them. We don't know you guys. We know your husbands or your exes or your baby daddies. That was the draw to get us into the show, because we wanted to know about them. We just stayed after we found out about the gag orders and that y'all can't really talk about them. We just stayed to see what y'all was about. But had it not been for the husbands, you would have no show. We can talk about every other husband. We can drag every other husband. We can call OG's boyfriend gay every time one of the Colorist Collective is on screen. But we can't talk about your cheating baby father. Really? Really? You should not be on this show. Sis, I'm trying. I feel like I am the only reviewer left who is like trying to give you an olive branch. You know what I mean? Everybody else does not like you. I'm trying. I'm really trying with you, because I'm like, girl, I get that you want the attention, because what a lot of people don't realize is that rich people are not comfortable with just being rich. They want to be famous. They'd rather be famous. They'd rather be famous than rich. Shaunie wants people to know her name. She don't want to sit back and just collect the coins from this show. She wants us to know about her. She wants us to be talking about her. Not like this, but this is who she is, and this is how she comes off. And I'm just like, ma'am, you have too many irons in the fire for you to be so messy on TV. You want to be the face of a brand, but your brand is just darkness. It's not a good brand. You're nasty, ma'am. You are nasty. You are not good on TV. You come off very horrible. This show is not a good look for you. Why don't you get off the show and let these ladies act the fool and just collect the coin? Is the attention that good? So OG now comes back to set, and Mother still looks sickening. One of her best looks. One of her best looks. But she comes back, she agrees to sit on the separate set, and she agrees to do this satellite interview. But I think it's terrible, because all the ladies are coming after her. Jackie is not really defending her. She's not being able to speak her piece, because everybody is yelling over her, because they do not want us to hear her for this woman to make sense. But I love the fact that she was able to get out what she could get out. She came out guns blazing. She called them on their colorism, which is what it is, guys. It's not just colorism, though. It's internalized racism and it's ethnic hatred. They do not like OG for a number of reasons. It's a combination. Yes, she is a dark-skinned Black woman. She's also a Black Nigerian woman. They do not know about her culture. So too often in America, this is what this nation is known for. Pray for me. If something is different, Americans don't like it. They shut it down. If it's different from what they have been taught to be superior or beautiful or acceptable, they shut it down. She's Nigerian, she's dark, she's different from them. But even in the face of all of these women who have been told that they are better because they are lighter, or their hair is straight, or they have all of these possessions that you can only have if you get money like white people. It all leads back to European beauty standards and white supremacy. This is what these women are going through, but they don't want to talk about it because they don't believe it. They do not think that the labeling that they're putting on OG or the way they are treating OG has anything to do with colorism or white supremacy. They don't realize that they are being tools for white supremacy. Have this woman with these full lips, this dark skin, this broad nose, this 4C hair texture, who is embracing her culture, who, while you want to walk with a Birkin bag and wear a Gucci tracksuit on set, she would much rather wear the garb of her people. You don't know nothing about that, because as a Black American, your culture has been stripped from you. So you only know what you go searching for, or what your ancestors have told you, what elders in your family have told you. We are not taught our history in school. So we have to go search for it, find it, talk to older people before they die, and get all the tea, because we are not taught that. So we're walking around without, to be honest with you, an identity. So we're trying to like form and put it together and find pride in what we are doing. And a lot of times our pride is also a protest. So we are fighting against the European beauty standards. So we are unlearning to hate ourselves and learning to love ourselves. It's a process. But once you get through it, it's a beautiful place to be. Not a lot of us have been raised in Black love households. I was one of them. I was raised by activists. I was raised by Black activists. So I knew what was up as a child. It wasn't until I got to college and I got around Black people who did not have that same upbringing, and I was just very confused about how they would talk about themselves and how they would talk about each other. But as I got older, I realized what it was. Case in point, I have a very good friend who was from South Africa. Me growing up in this Black love household, Black activism and, loving myself and, Black love, Black power all day, right? This is how I was raised. I meet this Black South African woman at a job that I worked at when I was 19? Child, we met at 19. We still friends to this day. God did it. So at first, me and her did not get along, right? And I would just be so frustrated because I don't ever want to get into it with a Black woman. You know what I mean? As a Black woman, I know what we go through. And every time I see a Black woman, I just want to hug her, because I know if you've made it to this point and you still smiling and you still happy, sis, you fought. You done fought some battles. I get it, right? And I also want to break down the narrative that we don't get along as women, especially as Black women. So I'm always really trying with my Black women relationships. And me and this girl could not connect. We were always getting into it. And I would just be so depressed sometimes because I'm like, why isn't this working? Because I really wanted to work. So she was the first Black friend that I had who was not Black American. So I wanted, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh my goodness, I want this to work. You know what I mean? Aside from my family members, because I grew up in a, mixed cultural home, my stepfather is Jamaican. So that was all I knew outside of Black Americans were Jamaican Americans, but that was like family to me. So when I met this girl, this Black woman who was South African, I was just like, oh, okay. And in the beginning, we had a mutual respect. I thought it was going to work out, but we just kept on getting into it. And I would talk to my mom, I would talk to the Lord, I would talk to my friends. I was like, me and this girl is not working. And I want it to work because there's not a lot of us at this job. I don't want to have no beef with another Black woman. What is going on? And guys, when I realized it was me, my heart was broken. My heart was broken because I had a problem. And I didn't know it until I started doing some searching, because I was like, what is going on, right? I had a problem that this Black woman was walking around with so much pride. You know what I mean? Like, we had to dress a certain way at work. She was like, oh no. She would come in dressed to the nine, clothing from her neighborhood, from her tribe, and she would wear it well with pride. And we would have coworkers who would laugh at her, and she didn't laugh on. She knew who she was. You know what I mean? Our managers would try to talk to her a certain way, and she had no fear. It's weird to me as this, 19-year-old Black woman to see this woman, take on our white managers and not have a fear of any kind of repercussion. You know what I mean? It was just I'm like, girl, you can't talk to, your manager like that. They'll fire you, or, she might say that you were aggressive and called I'm thinking about all these things because a majority of Black identity is survival. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at her like, how do you feel this way? How are you doing this? And what I had to realize is that she's not American. She lives here now. I think she was here on a student visa. But she don't identify with this identity. Never thought that she was better than. I tried to make that narrative about her because I did not understand her. And what I realized from just hanging out with her and just having discussions, she's from a place where everybody looks like her. In any class, she sees herself on TV. She sees herself in magazines. She sees herself in her neighborhood. She sees people who look like her that are successful. She sees people that look like her who are not successful. She is the standard of beauty where she's from. And so she doesn't fight these battles that I fight because that's just not in her. That's not how she identifies. So what I believe to be her being uppity or thinking that she's better than me is just this woman owning her identity, loving her blackness, loving who she is as a woman, because this is the environment that she was raised in. So when I understood that and checked myself and dropped that and approached this sister as a sister, you know what I mean? We were able to have a much better relationship. You know what I mean? A relationship at all. We were able to form that and become friends. And now even still, like, we still talk about things. We talk about fashion and all kinds of things. But we talk about, racial tensions in each of, she's dealing with a lot of racial tension over in South Africa. I'm dealing with, every time something pops off over here, she's just like, are you good? Like, what can we do? There's a relationship there that I really value. And I'm so thankful that I checked myself and I did my own soul searching, because if I would have stayed in that mindset that I was in, I would have really missed out on a great friendship. So this is what I think is happening with the women. And I'm not saying that I'm mad at them. I'm disappointed that at this age and with this influence, y'all don't realize that. You guys don't realize that you're coming after this woman because you think that somebody who looks like her should not feel like she can be in the same space as you and feel confident about herself, because we have been told in America differently. So y'all thinking because y'all light, or y'all got 4A hair, or y'all got these rich black men chasing you, that you are the cream of the crop, and you can't believe that your men want a woman like that. Why? Check why. It's not just colorism. It's a combination of internal racism. It's also a combination of ethnic hatred. You hate that this woman loves her culture because you're still grasping to find yours. And I'm saying this as a black American. Like, I'm not talking about my people. I'm just saying, guys, we have to realize what is happening here so that we can address it, heal ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and move forward as a people. Because at the end of the day, we family. We fight in the same fight. And as long as we continue with this divide, let me get off my Malcolm X. All I'm saying is, there's work that needs to be done, and I'm just disappointed that these ladies at this age cannot see it. We all can see it, but they can't see it. So maybe we've been doing the work, but not these women. I don't know, guys. I'm just disappointed. And you know what? Another great example of the women doing that with a woman that is Black American, Royce. They did the same thing to her. Royce, Black, loving who she is, not being impressed by their bags or their position, loving who she is, knowing who she is, living her best dark-skinned Black life. They couldn't stand it. She didn't have everything that they had, but she still felt like she could stand in a room with them and still be the baddest chick in the game. That's their problem. When women who they feel like is beneath them, for whatever reason, it could be their ethnicity, like they did with OG and Cece. It could be their financial status, like they did with Roy. It could also be that it's a Black woman that's different. They did that with, I think her name was Keisha. They tried to make her seem like she was weird and odd because she wasn't ignorant like them. The problem with OG overall, yes, as I said before, is a combination of several things. But they do this with all women who they think are beneath them, who have the audacity to think that they are on the same level as they are, when they don't really realize that they're not even on that level. The level where they think they're not even on that. So they'll find something about this person. They'll find a weakness, so they think, and they'll come after. So they'll come after the way OG looks. They'll call her ugly. They'll call her aggressive because she's a dark Black woman with muscles. They'll do all of that. You know what I mean? They'll diminish Cece. They'll tell her that Byron is cheating on her, or word on the street is that he's been doing that. They'll call her, racist terms like ling ling. Put her in a place to be like, you think you on the same level with us, but you ain't nothing but a nail shop girl. That's what they're doing. But we checked it, and we got y'all all together, and y'all cannot deal. So OG tried to speak her piece about colorism because, listen, if you, just like how every Black person knows racism, you don't even have to say it. You can look at us a certain way. You can make a comment that seems positive, and we will read that racism in it. When you deal with something for so long, you know it in the slightest form. So you're not going to tell me that this dark Black woman don't know colorism. We know it better than anybody else. Don't nobody know colorism like Black women. Dark-skinned Black women, we know We know that demon well, okay? So they're trying to gaslight her and make her think that everything that she's saying is, not true. Shaunie's rolling her eyes. Malaysia is popping off. Phoebe is popping off. And then OG is just like, well, Phoebe, you made a comment about the color of my skin. And Phoebe starts screaming over her. So we can't really hear what OG is saying because as soon as she said that, Phoebe would chime in, right? But as soon as OG said that and was trying to speak about that incident, whatever it was, it did not happen on camera. Because OG was trying to tell us, the viewers, what had happened, and Phoebe just started screaming. She started screaming over her. We could not hear her. Then she started to say, well, how can I be a colorist when I prefer my meat dark? You sound like a colorist right there. That's something a colorist would say. Listen, just because you have dark children, just because you have sex with dark men, does not mean that you cannot be a colorist. Okay? I have no choice but to believe OG just from their reactions alone. Because Phoebe, why are you screaming at her? If what she is saying is not true, why are you yelling over her to make sure we do not hear what she is trying to tell us? Because it would have been even more damaging. Malaysia tries to pipe in, and then OG is just like, well, Malaysia, you were bleaching your skin. And I was just like, oop. And oop. Because guys, in my older Basketball Wives reviews, I think from a couple years ago when I tried to review this show, the only reason why I'm reviewing this show is because I just can't believe that nobody is holding Kristen accountable for destroying her family. But I remember in one of my reviews back in the day, I was just like, something's going on with Malaysia's skin color. Now, I didn't want to believe that Malaysia was skin bleaching because I liked her. I was a fan of Malaysia, especially with that whole Brandy thing that was going on a couple seasons ago. I was riding for the both of them, right? So in my mind, not wanting to believe that this woman is bleaching her skin, I'm thinking that they're just lightening up her scenes because, guys, Malaysia has gotten really light over the years. So I don't know, maybe it's how they're filming her. Maybe she just got to get a new makeup artist, but sis, you don't look the same. That's another one who, when OG started saying that, she just started screaming over her. And I know from being somebody who's always been calm in arguments, when people start screaming and shouting over you, it's because you're talking truth. And they don't want that truth to get out too many people to hear it, because then they start looking like the fool and you start looking like the truth teller. So then Kwame chimes in to try to defend his girl, and I get it, right? But y'all know how I am. I'm just like, let the girls fight. You know what I mean? Because a man, especially a man of a certain stature and size, you just will never look good yelling back at a woman. It's just, I get it. I get it. You didn't like the fact that they were calling you gay. And can we talk about how homophobic that is? Because they were calling Kwame gay as a way to attack him, as a way of saying, oh, he's gay. You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, something wrong with your man. They were using it as something that is wrong. But if you try to tell them that, oh, no, we weren't saying it like that. Yes, you were. Listen, I have been in Black church long enough, right? I've been around straight people long enough to know how gay people are talked about in straight communities. Can we be real? Calling a man gay is derogatory, especially when the man is straight. You're saying that about him to attack his manhood, to say that he is not fully a man because he's gay. And you're also saying that to ruin his status in society. So they knew exactly what they were doing when they were saying that, and they were hoping that, just like they were calling OG aggressive, would catch on. So he was offended by that, maybe because he didn't like being called gay when he's not, right? But I think he was also offended because we know what that meant. We know what they were trying to do with that. They didn't have any receipts. They were trying to tear him down by calling him gay, which to me solidifies that these women are awful. Awful. The colorist collective is just awful. So I've talked long enough. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about from this reunion. A lot of you guys in my comment section have been saying that you're not watching next season and that you want this show canceled and that you want to boycott the show. I, as someone who, works in this industry, was just like, oh my goodness, a lot of people are taking it too far and pulling my entertainer card. Forgive me. Just like, oh, you don't know how it goes or how it works. This is entertainment. This is the industry. After watching this reunion and just being disgusted by this season, I agree with you guys. I don't never want to put no Black woman out of a check, no matter how awful she is, but This is just really sad. This show is really sad. We're watching women in their 50s and late 40s, late 20s, mid 30s, be the worst of humanity to each other. Like I said before, these shows have to have drama, right? They have to have drama, they have to have comedy, they have to have suspense. You know, there has to be a lot of things, you know, going on in the pot, you know, for us to watch. They got to give us a show. But the show is in balance. It's 90% hate, and then it's like 10% comedy and real life. You know what I mean? Like that whole scene with Shaunie and, you know, dealing with some real life stuff with her son. It was just a blip in this season. The rest of it was the ladies sitting down trying to find a way to diminish two women, three, can we be real? 3 women within their circle who were different. They spent the entire season attacking Jackie and her age. So they had ageism right there. Then they spent the entire season attacking Cece and OG because of their ethnicity. It's so sad because y'all just went after people who were not like you because you thought that you could, and you couldn't believe that these people, in your opinion, inferior to you, had the audacity to believe that not only are they just as bad as you, they might be better. That is your problem at your big age. It's just so sad. And what's even sadder is that a white man knows how to do a show about black women better than a black woman. Shaunie, as much as we cuss Andy out, the Real Housewives of Atlanta would never. At least that show gives us balance. They give us shade, comedy, drama, suspense, maybe a drink throw, but this, never. That show was on a different level, and I'm so disappointed because so many of us wanted this to win. So many black women came to this show to support it because it was a black cast, a black woman created it. We were on board. Now it's like, so disappointing. We're not saying that next season you got to come back and you have to be all angelic and every episode read Sesame Street books to children at St. Jude Hospital. We're not saying that. But what we're saying is that we don't want this. What you guys have been showing us is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Like I said before, the network has the final say over everything. So maybe they were encouraging Shaunie. Look at me trying to help this woman out. I don't know, guys. I don't know, but I agree with you. I really, really do. Yes, these shows are fake. But what they are, this message that this show was putting out is very dangerous. But I'm so thankful that we caught it and we denied it. Thank you. We doing the Lord's work. We doing the Lord's work. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because as you can see what I have on my turban, that means that Mother has a show or an audition. Like normally I wear my hair out all the time, but if my hair is wrapped up, that means I'm setting it for something that I have the next day. Either an audition or a show. Pretty soon it'll be for a man. We will see. Keep me in your prayers. Let me get out of here, guys. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments section below, and I will see you for my final Basketball Wives review this, not Wednesday, because that's when I have my show. Probably, I'll try my best to get it up by Thursday. I will see you then. Let's chat about the show in the comment section below. Love you guys. Bye.